Welcome back. Today we're plunging deep into the heart of, well, a true publishing sensation, Iron Flame. It's the second book in Rebecca Yarros' massive Empyrean series. If you were caught up in Fourth Wing, you know the kind of wildfire success we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
So our mission for this deep dive is basically to quickly get to the core of this world, unravel its really intricate plot, explore the characters driving it all, and understand the real-world frenzy and some pretty unique challenges around its release.
Right.
We really want to give you the clearest, most insightful understanding of why this book just hit so hard so you walk away truly getting it. We're talking romantasy, new adult romantic fantasy.
This is such a booming genre right now.
Exactly. And it's proving it's not just dragons and magic, but also these incredibly deep relationships and, frankly, stakes that feel terrifyingly real.
What's particularly striking about Iron Flame, I think, is not just its narrative depth, but the sheer velocity of its arrival.
Well,
I mean, how quickly it landed in the literary world, building on that huge momentum from Fourth Wing.
really.
It wasn't just another sequel. It really felt like a cultural event. So, yeah, in this deep dive, we'll unpack those thrilling plot points, maybe glean some fascinating insights from the author herself, and dissect its remarkable reception, including some, well, surprising controversies.
Controversies that tell us a lot, maybe.
Possibly, yeah, about broader publishing trends even.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, the foundational details of this literary powerhouse. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros hit shelves November 7, 2023. 623 pages.
A chunker.
Definitely not a quick read. And it's the intense second part of what's planned as a 5-book Empyrean series. Now, about romantasy, it's essentially fantasy, but with this really strong romantic core running through it.
Right, the relationship is just as central as the fighting or the magic.
And Yarros has undeniably been a huge voice in shaping and, honestly, popularizing this specific niche. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. How deeply the author's personal background influenced the series' gritty realism.
Oh, talk about that.
Well, Rebecca Yarros' parents were both lieutenant colonels, and her husband served in the United States Army. This deep military connection, it directly inspired what she calls the death culture in the Empyrean series.
Wow, death culture. That's intense.
It is. She's explicitly said that for her, war means friends don't always come home, and she wanted that brutal realism right there in her fantasy. And get this. Her husband, who was an Apache pilot.
No way.
Yeah, he actually helped develop the aerial combat scenes. That's why those dragon battles feel so, authentic, visceral.
Okay, if we connect this to the bigger picture, that real-world military grounding, it really elevates the fantasy, doesn't it? It's not just magic spells. It's about the brutal realities of war, loss, impossible choices.
Yeah, it grounds it.
And that level of authenticity, I think it resonates with a much broader audience. Even people who maybe aren't typical fantasy readers but appreciate that kind of depth, maybe like the dragon lore you find in George R.R. Martin's work.
Good comparison.
And speaking of intensity, the release schedule was, well, unprecedented. Iron Flame landed just 7 months after Fourth Wing.
7 months? That's incredibly fast for a book this size.
It's lightning speed. Yarros apparently keeps a really rigorous writing pace, often doing 2 to 3 books a year, which is just wow. But the sheer consumer demand from Fourth Wing, that plus the publisher seeing the momentum, definitely expedited Iron Flame's launch.
They struck while the iron was hot, so to speak.
Exactly. And to really fan the flames, they exclusively posted a 500-word teaser excerpt on today.com, like 3 whole months before release.
Smart move.
Brilliant. Turn the pre-publication buzz into an absolute roar.
Okay, so with that context set, let's dive into the core of Iron Flame. The plot. It is relentless. For anyone who read Fourth Wing, you know the intensity of Violet Sorrengail's journey already.
Oh, yeah.
Nonstop.
But what I want to zero in on here is how Yarros strategically uses these massive revelations to constantly challenge Violet and, honestly, us as readers.
Yeah.
Our assumptions keep getting blown up.
Right. The story picks up immediately after Fourth Wing's ending, right? Like, no time jump.
Yeah, immediately. Plunges Violet into this new reality where absolutely nothing is what it seemed. And the first seismic shockwave hits pretty early. Violet finds out her brother, Brennan, who she thought was dead, is not only alive, but is a key figure, like a lieutenant colonel, in a secret rebellion against the very government she serves.
Whoa. Okay, that changes everything.
Right. It's not just a plot point. It fundamentally dismantles her entire understanding of her family, her government, the world she thought she was fighting for. It's huge.
That's a really powerful way to raise the emotional stakes right away. And it sets up this intricate web of trust and betrayal that makes her journey just so compelling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Iron Flame is just this relentless gauntlet for her. She's forced to confront layers of deception, shifting loyalties. How does Yarros keep that tension so high throughout the book, especially with these really personal betrayals piling up?
Oh, the tension is absolutely palpable. So they get back to Basgiath War College, right? Violet and the other survivors. But they're forced to lie about the attack they just survived. They have to say it was griffins, not something else.
Creates instant paranoia.
Exactly. An atmosphere of paranoia, internal conflict. And the challenges escalate fast. There's this brutal new vice commandant, Major Burton Varish. He has this terrifying signet.
A signet. What's
He
that?
can read weaknesses, and he gets this really unsettling obsession with Violet. Meanwhile, her friendship with Daenados,
Yeah.
already rocky after Fourth Wing.
Yeah, the memory reading thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That crumbles because she blames him for Liam's death, especially after he used his retrocognition signet on her without consent, and her intense relationship with Xaden Riorson.
Always complicated.
Always. It gets even more complicated because he has to keep secrets about his rebel activities, even though their dragon bond lets them meet privately each week. It's this constant push and pull. Duty, loyalty, truth. It's messy.
It's a masterclass in building mistrust, even within her closest circle. And these internal conflicts, combined with the external dangers,
Right.
it just forces Violet to take huge risks.
Right.
What stands out to me is how those personal betrayals aren't separate from the external war. They're like intertwined forces shaping her.
Perfectly put. And as if that internal stuff wasn't enough, the actual threats just keep getting deadlier.
Yeah.
Mysterious deaths start happening among the survivors. And Andarna, Violet's little dragon.
Andar.
Yeah, well, she enters this dreamless sleep to grow, leaving Violet even more vulnerable. So driven by this need for truth, Violet secretly starts investigating an old, unactivated wardstone in a place called Aracia.
Trying to find answers on her own.
Right, and looking into the history of Navarre's wards. She even gets help from a scribe named Jacinia, who illegally smuggles books for her. And Prince Eric Greycastle, he's also at Basgiath, kind of on his own quest for answers about the Venan threat.
So multiple people are searching for the truth, maybe not always together.
Exactly. The atmosphere just gets suffocating. Varish is constantly suspicious, searching Violet's stuff, demanding Dane read her memories, which Dane surprisingly refuses to do.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then a truly shocking twist. Jack Barlow. Remember him?
The one Violet thought she killed.
The very one. He just reappears at Basgiath, apparently healed.
No. How?
Right. It makes it terrifyingly clear that the enemies are way closer and more insidious than anyone thought.
Okay, that Jack Barlow moment, that
Yeah.
really hits home the idea that the threat isn't just out there somewhere. It's inside, deeply embedded, blurs all the lines between ally and enemy.
Absolutely. Forces Violet and us to question every single assumption.
So the tension just keeps ratcheting up.
Oh, yeah. Even further, there's this clandestine trip where Violet and Xaden deepen their bond physically, but also in their shared purpose. He brings her along to smuggle daggers to some griffin flyers.
Risky.
Very. And that's where Violet meets Kat,
Kat. Who's Kat?
Xaden's ex-fiancée.
Oh, boy. Awkward.
Yeah, adds another layer of complex personal stuff to an already high-stakes mission. Anyway, Xaden gives Violet this special dagger. Back at Basgiath, she gets captured by Varish.
No.
But her best friend, Rhiannon, uses her own power to hide the dagger Varish is looking for. And Violet, under pressure, finally tells her friends Radok and Sawyer the truth about the Venan, bringing them into her investigation. She and Eric then manage to steal these ancient journals.
The ones about the wards.
Yeah, instructions for raising wards. Desperate hope. But the betrayals. Utter. A shocking turn by someone named Nolan leads to Violet being captured again and tortured by Varish. He gives her a signet-suppressing serum.
This is brutal.
It is. And again, Dane is ordered to read Violet's memories. But this time, Violet forces him to see the actual Venan attack, revealing the lies he's been fed his whole life.
What does Dane do?
In this incredible moment of redemption, he turns on Varish, stabs him, and then Xaden arrives to help finish the job.
Wow. That moment with Dane, that's a huge turning point, isn't it? Not just for him, but for the whole moral compass of the story.
Definitely.
It really underlines that theme that truth, once you see it, can shatter even the deepest conditioning. It's about characters finally choosing their own path, even against these huge institutional lies.
Precisely. So with Varys gone, Xaden makes this bold move. He exposes the Venan truth by dropping wyvern carcasses at several outposts.
Forces their hand.
Totally forces Navarre leadership into this desperate cover-up.
Mm.
Then Violet gets intercepted by her mother, General Sorrengail.
Ooh, the general. Always intimidating.
Right. And she finally reveals this huge secret. She forced Violet into the Riders' Quadrant, specifically to protect her from a guy named Markham, who would have groomed and then killed her to keep the Venan truth hidden.
Whoa, so her mother's harshness was actually protection.
A twisted form of it, yeah.
Mm.
With the truth now kind of out, many Basgiath riders just leave. They abandon the college for Aricia to join the real fight against the Venan.
The real schism.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
So Violet is trying to translate these stolen journals, figure out the ward stone. She learns about this thing called a luminary, belonging to a Viscount Tecarus that could create weapons. She needs an alliance. But it's complicated because guess who's Tecarus's niece?
Uh-oh. Let me guess.
Cat.
Bingo. Cat.
Yeah.
Xaden's ex-fiancée. So Violet has to navigate all that personal history during critical negotiations. Xaden reassures her, though, tells her he loves her.
Good old Xaden.
Meanwhile, Andarna finally wakes up from her growth sleep.
But Violet feels immense guilt over Andarna's earlier sacrifice, knowing it harmed her dragon's ability to bear a rider later. In a sign of maybe some healing, Violet actually asks Dane for help translating the journals. They start to reconcile a bit.
Interesting dynamic shift there. The personal relationships are just as complex and high stakes as the actual war, aren't they?
They really are. It's not just dragons and magic. It's this whole web of trust, betrayal, love, history that defines their survival.
Okay, so where does it go from there? It feels like we're building to something huge.
Oh, it keeps building. During a training exercise, Violet, Cat, and another character, Sloane, get attacked by Varys' vengeful dragon.
Still causing trouble from beyond the grave, huh?
Seems like it. Andarna saves them, and in the chaos, Sloane manifests a really powerful siphon signet. Then Violet makes another shocking discovery. Xaden has a secret, illegal second signet.
What? Another one?
Yeah. He's an intensic.
What?
He can sense people's true intentions.
Okay, that's a lot. Does she confront him?
She does. They reconcile after he promises complete honesty from now on. Then Violet, through this flash of insight, reinterprets a phrase in the journals and manages to temporarily raise the Aricia wards.
Temporarily? Uh-oh.
Yeah. The climax is just devastating. The wards fail. Massive Venan attack on Basgiath itself. Jack Barlow reveals his true nature. He is a Venan.
Called it. Knew he was bad news.
Right. And many others join the battle. Amidst all this chaos, Jacenia finds a critical translation mentioning 7 dragon dens being essential for some ritual. And Violet realizes Andarna can camouflage and is from an unknown 7th den.
The missing piece.
The key piece for the wards. Violet almost kills herself trying to power them, but in this absolutely heart-wrenching moment, her mother, General Sorrengail,
No.
sacrifices her own life to complete the wards, saving Violet and countless others.
Oh my God, the general. Wow.
Oh wait, there's more. The biggest, darkest twist. In a desperate attempt to save Violet during this, dream battle with the main Venan sage, Xaden uses earth magic.
Yeah.
And in doing so,
Don't say it.
he becomes a Venan himself.
And no.
And
Yep. End of book. Cliffhanger. Agony.
that ending, that's just masterful narrative design, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leaves you utterly breathless.
Yeah.
And it raises such an important question. How do all these relentless betrayals, these revelations, culminating in Xaden's dark turn?
Right.
How does that shape Violet?
Right.
It forces her to confront her own strength, question everything she knew, especially about the man she loves. She's constantly pushed to her absolute limits, physically, emotionally, morally. It makes the whole thing just incredibly gripping for you as the reader.
Okay, wow. Let's shift gears slightly then to the real-world impact of Iron Flame. Because this book wasn't just popular, it was a genuine phenomenon. Sold over 500,000 copies on release day.
500,000. On day one, that's staggering.
It really is. The fan reaction was just fervent. 200 Barnes & Noble stores held midnight release parties. Yarros herself went to the one in New York City.
Must have been chaos. Fun chaos, but chaos. Totally. Independent bookstores ran out of tickets for their events almost instantly. Critically, it soared. #1 national fiction bestseller by Publishers Weekly in November 2023. And it has, over 400,000 5-star reviews on Goodreads now.
That's incredible reach, but what's also really illuminating here is that this massive, rapid popularity, it led to some unique challenges, didn't it? And kind of a fascinating discussion about the industry itself.
Yeah, talk about that, the misprints.
Exactly. The book became so successful so quickly that it seems like it actually outpaced the typical production quality control. Lots of readers got copies with errors, spines reading Fourth Wing instead of Iron Flame.
Seriously?
Yeah. Or covers with upside-down titles, pages printed wrong or out of order. Entangled Publishing, the publisher, they did commit quickly to exchanging those copies.
Still not ideal.
Not ideal at all. And that, combined with the super fast release schedule and then these accusations about misusing Scottish Gaelic, apparently Yarros had some mispronunciations in interviews. It led to these comparisons between what was happening and fast fashion.
Huh. Fast fashion for books. That's provocative.
It is, right? It makes you think. When reader demand gets this intense, how much pressure does it put on quality control? On proofreading, maybe even on the creative process itself? It's a really interesting thought.
Wild comparison, but yeah, insightful maybe for the publishing world today. So with all this momentum, controversy aside, what's next for the series?
Well, The Empyrean is planned as a 5-book series. The third book, Onyx Storm, is scheduled for release on January 21st, 2025.
Okay, so a longer gap this time.
A significantly longer gap than between books 1 and 2. And that extended timeline is reportedly because of Yarros' health limitations. Apparently, the expedited schedule for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame really pushed her hard.
Wow. Highlights the human cost behind these massive productions sometimes.
Absolutely, the human element.
And as if the book's success wasn't enough drama. Huge news on the adaptation front, right?
Oh yeah, massive news. Just a week before Iron Flame even came out, Amazon MGM Studios acquired the rights to adapt the entire Empyrean series for streaming.
The whole 5 books.
The whole planned 5 books. Rebecca Yarros is set to executive produce, along with Liz Pelletier from Entangled Publishing and Liz Raposo. Important note, though. She won't have writing credits on the show itself.
Interesting. Is it greenlit? Are they actually making it?
Not yet greenlit for production, as far as we know, but the potential is obviously huge. The interest is definitely there.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Iron Flame is clearly way more than just a sequel. It's this high-stakes journey, packed with profound character growth, shocking twists, and this relentless fight against a terrifying enemy that completely flips the script on the world Violet thought she knew. It's really carved out this significant cultural footprint, hasn't it? Brilliantly blending that high fantasy thrill with compelling romance, and all underpinned by these surprising real-world inspirations we talked about.
It really has, and maybe this raises an important final question for you to consider as you reflect on this whole phenomenon. Considering Iron Flame's explosive success, but also those production challenges that came with it, what does it actually mean for a story and for its creation to move at the speed of its fandom? It's a question that kind of digs into that intersection of art, commerce, the digital age, and it invites you to think about the future of publishing itself and maybe what we as readers value most in the stories we consume. Something to mull over.